What is up and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Evan and I'm an online reseller. Although I'm thinking about changing that name to Dummy after the mistakes I made this week. But I still made some killer sales on eBay, stuff that I picked up at thrift stores and garage sales. But the mistakes, they're kind of haunting me. Check it out. Another pretty cool t-shirt going out. This is a vintage Bill Elliott McDonald's Batman Forever NASCAR t-shirt, and honestly I probably would have kept it if it would have fit me. Picked it up from Goodwill for $1.50 and this thing sold for 58 bucks. Sold some J-Los. Not those J-Los, these J-Los. These are Yakima J-Lo kayak racks. Picked them up from Goodwill for $8 and they sold after a day for $95. Typically they do sell for a little bit more, but I'm missing the keys and the straps that usually go with these. So still a pretty decent flip. So I kind of took a chance on these binoculars when I found them up in a thrift store in Charlotte when my daughter and I were up there. Paid, I think, $20 for them, and I couldn't find any comps anywhere. None exactly like these. This is a pair of Boston Lahm US Navy binoculars from the 1940s. Paid the $20 for them, and it's taken about 6 or 8 months from the sale, but they sold for $99. So I found a Nintendo 64 at a garage sale the other day, and that was kind of surprising in and of itself because I never find decent video games. Not only that, it had both controllers, it had a few games, and they only wanted $15 for it. And it was in this handy carrying case, so I snatched it up as fast as I could. Well, I got home and started testing the N64 and didn't really think anything of this case at the time until I looked over and decided to look it up on eBay. Sure enough, this thing has a little bit of value. Actually sold in about 3 days for $79. So you guys may already know, but I do not like going to the Goodwill bins. Whatever's there in the morning is what's there. They don't rotate rows out throughout the day like most Goodwill bins do. So if you don't get there early and fight the crowds, usually all the good stuff is gone. But I will go by there if I'm happen to be next door at the regular Goodwill. I'll kind of run in there and see what they've got. Well, I walked in there the other day and this guy was laying right on top. And I thought maybe it had a huge hole in it, was in bad condition. But no, it's in really good condition, actually. It's an Osprey 4.70-liter backpack. It's actually missing a little day pack that's supposed to attach to the front here, but that didn't really hurt the value a whole lot apparently. I picked it up for $5.75 when it was all said and done, and after like 2 weeks, it sold for $84.50 plus shipping. Got an older set of Callaways going out here. This is a set of Callaway Big Bertha irons, 3-through pitch and wedge, and they're from 1996. Paid $20 for them, I believe, from a garage sale like 6 months ago, and they sold for $139. These Neat Desk desktop scanners are certainly something you want to be on the lookout for. If you can get them cheap enough, they always sell, and they sell for some decent money. And I almost didn't get this one. It had a $20 price tag on it at a garage sale. Fortunately, though, I decided to look inside, and yeah, it's brand new, never been used. It sold in about 3 days for $130 plus shipping. So I picked up 2 of these Xbox One Guitar Hero guitars at a garage sale. It actually came with 2 guitars, 2 dongles, and then this Xbox One Guitar Hero live game. Decided to break them up and make 2 bundles. This bundle here with the game, the dongle, and the guitar just sold for $147. I was actually kind of surprised with that because normal comps weren't that high, but there was one that had sold for the same price. Listed mine there, figured I could always go lower, and it sold in like 3 days. Here's another piece of stereo equipment from the Peaches to the Beaches garage sale. You guys already know, paid $45 for 4 pieces of equipment. Sold the first one for $8.80, the next one for like $3.29, and this one just sold for $3.25 plus shipping. It's an ADC SS-450X, some kind of sound shaper equalizer. I'm not really sure. Didn't know what it did, so I didn't really know how to test it. Hooked up my daughter's iPad to it, powered it on, and it had a bunch of cool flashing lights and different motions and things. I'll try and put a video of it up here. But I actually reached out to the buyer, made sure he understood that I didn't know what I was doing, that it was being sold for parts as is, and we're good to go. He agreed to it. So yeah, I made two easily avoidable and really dumb mistakes this week. Sold an Olimar 15 degree tri-metal 3-wood. It was like 28 bucks. I didn't realize that I actually had two of them, and one was in a lot better condition than the other. Of course, I sold one, I sent the poor condition one to the guy that bought the good condition one. Yeah, obviously he asked for a return, so I got a return coming on that. Also, I sold a pair of Crocs sandals for 50 bucks, which is a really good sale. Unfortunately though, when I listed them, I apparently did sell one like this and didn't change the size in the title. Size in the title was a size 7. The shoes were obviously a size 8. They were even in the pictures like that, but it's my mistake. Should have been paying closer attention. Those are actually being returned as well. So two big mistakes this week that were absolutely avoidable just from lack of paying attention. Should have never happened. But leave me a comment down below. Have you ever made a dumb mistake like this? If you have, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. It might actually make me feel a little bit better. Surprisingly, I found a decent Wii game at Goodwill. This is Wii Super Mario Brothers. Picked it up for $2, and of course it sold in a day or two for 26. Unfortunately, it's not complete. It's missing the pamphlet on the inside. It's even missing the back part of the cover, which is kind of strange, but still 26 bucks. Got a Mizuno pitching wedge going out. Definitely be on the lookout for Mizuno golf stuff. Sells really well. This is a MX23 pitching wedge, and you can see it's definitely got some pretty heavy wear on it. Picked it up in a bag full of clubs, so I've got maybe $1 or $2 into it. And even with all this wear, still sold for $32.50. Still got 3 or 4 more gun magazines that I got from the Peaches to the Beaches yard sale, and that's definitely been one of the best buys that I've made in a long time. And this one was a good sale too. This is a Taurus PT-25 magazine. It's definitely been open, but it looks new. Paid, I don't know, maybe $1 or $2 for it, and it sold for $72.50. I don't know if I should be proud of this or ashamed to show you this, but I sold some little boys' underwear on eBay. Well, kinda. This is a pair, or actually 2 pair of True Fit Good Nights, like basically sleeping underwear. They're real underwear, but they have an absorbent pad that you can put inside and replace. And I'm guessing they don't make these anymore because they sell really well. I paid $3 for this pack from Goodwill, and there were comps in the like $40 range, but my packaging is definitely messed up. They've got packaging tape on it, so I decided to take an offer, 30 bucks. Sold an N64 game. This is Super Smash Bros. For the N64. Picked it up in a bundle of N64 stuff from a garage sale like 6 months ago, and I've actually had the N64 just kind of sitting around in my death pile. It was missing the power supply, and I kept forgetting to order one. I actually found another N64 this past weekend, used the power supply off of it to test it. Everything worked, including this Super Smash Bros. And this guy just sold for $41. Probably sold it a little too cheap, but it is discolored a little bit. It's kind of dingy and dirty, so pretty good flip still. Found this Wheeler scope mount for a Savage 10 rifle at one of those Amazon Ben's return stores. Paid $6 for it, and it sold for $29.95. And I feel like I'm going into like the gun parts business lately. I've been finding a lot of different gun parts. Paid up a little bit for this Jacksonville Jaguars Military Appreciation Day hat, but comps look really good. Picked it up at Goodwill for $7.99, and it sold after a couple of weeks for $32.50. So here's a new brand for me. These are Kuru, and they're supposed to be like really stable walking or running shoes, and they're pretty high-end shoes. I think these shoes on their website are like 140 bucks. I paid $15 for these, I believe, at Goodwill, and they sold for $60 in about a month. Sold a Lion, and this is definitely the coolest Lion that I've ever seen. He's a Harley Davidson Lion. Got his little leather vest on. Even the vest has the Harley Davidson logo on the buttons. Certainly pretty cool. Picked it up from Goodwill for I think $1, and he sold after like 6 months, so it took a while, for $24.50. Found this random Callaway X18 3-iron at Goodwill one day, and unfortunately they didn't have the rest of the set because this is a awesome set to be on the lookout for. Sells for decent money, sells super quick, but I knew somebody would need a replacement club eventually. Sure enough, it's taken a couple of months, but I paid $2 for this guy, and it sold for $35 on eBay. These Fire Orange N64 controllers sell really well, and they sell for some really good money. Unfortunately, though, this one didn't work. Like when you plug it in, the console freezes, or if you've got it plugged in, the console won't load. Not really sure what's wrong with it. It probably could have Googled it and maybe done a quick fix, but it still sold broken like this for 48 bucks. I don't pick up a lot of Cole Haan shoes, but something about these just kind of drew me to them. I don't know, maybe it's the purple shoelaces. Saw them at the Salvation Army. They only wanted $5.99 for them, and they're in really good condition. No scuffs or anything on the suede, which is kind of unusual. So I figured I'd give them a shot. Well, I've had them about 3 months now, and they finally sold for $38. I've actually stopped picking up FootJoy polo shirts if they've got a logo on them, which means I've had this one for quite some time. It's actually got a web.com tour logo on it. I'm sure I paid $4.75 for it from Goodwill, and it sold for $23 after probably a year. Still selling these majestic Therma base fleece pullovers that my wife and I got when we were up in Raleigh. Found them at one of the Goodwills up there, and they have a bin section in the back. I ended up paying like $1.49 a piece for these. Then we've got 10 or 12 of them. They just kind of been selling along and along. This one just sold for 28 bucks. 3 more of these majestic pullovers going out. I actually had a guy buy one maybe a week or so ago, and I guess he really liked it because he ordered 3 more. So all of these are going to the same buyer, which is really nice. Might have sold this one a little too cheap. This is a TaylorMade ATV grind tour spin 60-degree wedge. Picked it up in a bag of clubs that I got from the Peaches to Beaches. Paid $45 for the whole bag. So I've maybe got $2 or $3 into this, and it sold for $35 plus shipping. Normally I think they sell for around $40 or $45, so I may have let it go a little too cheap, but it was a quick sale, so I'll take it. Got an older Ping driver going out. This is a Ping G5 460cc 10.5 degree offset driver, and you guys already know Ping equals cha-ching. Picked this up at a garage sale along with a bunch of other clubs. Paid $50 for everything, and this guy just sold for $59.50, so I've got my cost covered, and once everything sells out of that bag, I'm making a good profit. Got a pair of Nike Air Max Wolf Gray sneakers going out, and I don't know why they call them Wolf Gray unless it's because of the trim, because they're definitely white. And they've also got a few stains on them, definitely on the toe here, mark on the side right here. Paid $6.50 for them from Goodwill, and they sold for $50 on eBay after a couple of months. If they were in better condition, probably could have got a little bit more. Pair of men's Nike Air Cage Advantage tennis shoes, and since they're tennis shoes, I actually put pickleball in the title, and I'm not sure if that helped them sell or not, but they sold in a couple of weeks. Picked these up at the Peaches to the Beaches yard sale for I think $3 or $4, and they sold for $29 plus shipping. Also, these things are like size 14. You can see how big they are. I've got a big head too. Sold a vintage G.I. Joe Brawler tank. This thing's from 1990, and honestly, it probably wasn't worth selling. It's damaged, it's missing pieces, even got a melted spot on the front here, like it's fresh from battle. I've got really nothing into this thing. I bought a big bundle from a garage sale, and it sold for $24. After shipping and everything, it's probably not worth it. Pretty cool t-shirt going out here. This is a vintage Logo 7 Atlanta Falcons t-shirt. I've definitely had this thing for a while. Paid $1.50 for it at Goodwill, and it sold for $18. Sold an ink cartridge. This is a Canon PFI-102 MBK. It's a matte black ink cartridge for a large format printer. I actually picked up a box full of these from a thrift store. Paid $20 for the whole box, and this one just sold for 30 bucks. But it's one of many, so once I start selling those, definitely into some good profit. Got a Ping 7-iron going out. This is an i3 orange dot oversized 7-iron. Paid, I don't know, maybe $2 or $3 for it. Got it at a garage sale, and it was sold as a set. Unfortunately, it was missing a few clubs, so I decided to sell them separately, and this guy just sold for $34.50.